So, everyone, do you feel the force of the Jedi? Well, there are a lot of sources out there. There are a lot of controlled circumstances. I wouldn't say that they make it up. But in fact, I think there is some that are doing this. They're using laws on everything and making people go crazy. So, I wouldn't say it's a Facebook or YouTube or Google or any of these things that exist. I do admit there's a lot of problems with this. There's a lot of problems with false law, and accusing people is never right in a court of law. So, I've seen a lot of weird restrictions, a lot of weird policies, uh, a lot of stuff. And I'm like, this is all ridiculous. It's Jedi knows all secrets. But I have not been doing YouTube videos for a while, for a lot of reasons, because I make sense. I get the knowledge from a cigarette. And it's because people want to make conspiracies out of a conspiracy. But do they tell you the truth? No. I read several things and found out that's not what it says. Like the Bible. You can quote the Bible, but you quote God. The problem is do they know the written documents as well as they claim? And even the translations they're trying to change so that no one can have their point of view. But whether the interpretation of his coming, of Christ's return, is all in question. I won't have to say that it is a miracle or an enemy or an enigma. And some people considered Christ the enigma of its own enigma. But a lot of people want to say, oh, this is the God given truth. Well, I've been on the planet for long enough. I state who I am, and what I do. Why do you all hate it? Don't hate the player. Not even the game knows this. This is how bad it is. The war that is facing us is now even more extreme. Uh, this is not just about the people, the government, the army, the world, the planet, the satellites. This has been going on for a long time. I don't just preach religion. I don't preach the cloning activity they do in the experimental lab rats. It does exist. Aliens have been copying our DNA and cloning us. But do they want to kill us off? Partially, or it's the government control of it. So aliens have been hybriding humans for years. They send these alien creatures to create fear on the planet. And a lot of it is extraterrestrial, otherworldly. Uh, you just can't talk about it anymore because they try to silence you. But I went underground to preach this stuff. I went underground to talk about UFOs, but I did it in a way where people didn't know. I don't think the FBI is aware of these crimes that people have committed or what the men in black have done. The men in black and other agencies can't enter my secret lair to stop my, I don't want to say it, but you know what? They do things to people. They're not like the movies. They weren't friendly at first. Uh, a lot of government agencies have been brainwashed by these alien probes. Not just the probes on the gray aliens, but there are stuff on government places with advanced computers and alien probes that program your mind or the back. It's like a bug. I swear this stuff is fearful. Oh, wait, I don't believe in aliens because Jesus said that I have seen this stuff. I think Jesus would know. And this stuff does exist. It's scary. People are being eliminated and saying this is actually God and death. No, I don't agree with that. I think life is more important than what people are doing. You know, why I'm on this channel and why I get no views is not the recommendation. Don't overdose on medication. It's a known rule. But they're claiming people are overdosing when it's a lie. How many government agencies lie? How many corporations lie? A lot. And in fact, that's how their budget increases. But it can't not go like that in the future of the coming of Christ. But what do people believe in these versions? All these books, all these knowledges. I went through time and passed through the knowledge of time. I realized that wasn't smart, but it gains me all the wisdom of the earth. Now I think, wait a minute, that was the escape plan. Okay, now we get it. But is there a plan for the humans of this planet? And when can we move to another planet? You know what I mean? But we chose the people of the earth to form for us humans and us gods. They developed us in secret layers upon layers, which was never what we designed for. But knowing that we need an escape route, they don't see this. This is the problem of our modern world, that we need an escape plan, but I found a way into Hell's Pit. No, don't even go there, people. I mean, I know there's a lot of ideas coming out that are scary, and a lot of things that are videoized or horror movies that tend to go too far. Uh, then they say there's a meteorite coming up. I didn't see that new moon stuff, or I was gonna see it, never saw it, so I didn't see the movie. And it's the scary part about humanity. Uh, the UFO cover up, the conspiracies. We did go to space in the 60s, but they didn't tell anyone they were doing this. They're not writers were writing about this, and this was the cover up then, and that's why music was coming out and dying, pretty much. They're attacking everyone. They're attacking celebrities. They're attacking the heavy metal bands. Oh, so they died. I'm like, no, did you lie? They were immortal. That's what we thought for so long, and finding out there is no immortality. There are no gods. That's how they cover it up. They say, oh, well, this doesn't exist. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't it say this? And yet people are coming with strange formats. You can get like any military or hospital agencies that will say, "Come with me," and then you go and die. I'm like, really, hospital or not? Um, and this is the sad part. We need humans to care, not to diagnose with mental health lies or treatment false information on a global scale as are never good. Uh, I don't know if anyone will listen, but I get barely any views on here, so I haven't done this for a while. Um, I had a lot of videos. I had another an account, got rid of it. Main reason is because I get hacked. Hackers are through the network and up the roof. And that's why I have zero chats, is because the hacker got me several times. But you know what? I never did anything wrong, in my opinion. I wrote documents, wrote videos for the message to come out, and I found it never came out. So I deleted all my old videos, because I lost a lot of respect, from what really goes on in life in the world. But at the same time, I chose to do a Miley Cyrus thing, and I don't know if it popped up. Yeah, I'm like, what are we doing? That's managed. Oh, well, that's odd. Okay, so I have been playing video games, and time to time I'll play video games and put it on YouTube or Twitch. I started doing Twitch, realized Twitch is the opposite of Facebook and YouTube. Twitch is not a mainstream for the media of the people. It's a corporate or individuals thing. Facebook is going down because they got beaten down by the agencies that wanted to track it down. But now Facebook is going after everyone in opinion on their own network. They're targeting solutions that never even existed. So that's the problem of today's world. YouTube is an independent transmission from all these agencies. Uh, but Facebook has sided with the enemy before. And I find it more seriously that our country's material, our country's stuff, our country's buildings, our country immature, our economy is all being sold on a global market. And they say, oh, well, we don't have it anymore. No, because you sold and burnt it all. Why do this crap? And the problem is you got other foreign countries that are doing these stuff and they say this is God's glory. God did not say to steal and burn. This is what they do, and you can't argue with that, right? Well, I sent a video on YouTube. That's my argument. But I say buy stuff. And now these days they're saying, oh, but you don't have the money for it. I'm like, what? What? I don't want that. So I'll get a new debit card. Down the line, I should get a new card. So I did order another NetSpend. I've had NetSpend for a long time, people, and I went for so long without it. So I tried ordering a MasterCard for NetSpend once. I didn't add anything to it, so there was a problem with it. I think it got blocked, so I'm ordering a new one. Um, yeah, people want money, people want products, but are people real? You know, on these so-called networks. Oh, give me your card. No way. I found the fallen tradition that people don't care until the last minute. It's because of the control with agencies and lies and cover-ups because they want to do what they want. It's not about what's going on because people forget that or they don't follow into it like the others. But it's a fallen down community. So humans are a mistaken world, a judge of judges of lies and cover-ups. And this has been going on for a long time, people. That's why Hollywood actors did their films in a certain way, was to cover up what wasn't being shown. Uh, Covering up of many films have been blocked and books because of this reality of materials that were coming out. They would block it, censor it, and you wouldn't even see it in the daylight. But for a while, they were coming out here. You'd get a book that was banned from natural reese, and they would collect it. I was like, really? And then it's like, that's where the conspiracy. No, no, I just scan things. Never watched the Scanners movie. It's a bad movie. So don't watch Scanners. It's a bad movie. But I have an opinion on a lot of stuff. Um, my old computer I got rid of because I bought a brand new one. But people do not fall for the deception. We're leading into a dark time between God, religion, and machine. It's not just about the machine world. That's what they're trying to blow you over, or they're trying to cover it up. Um, but I've seen a lot of truth in this. Uh, I don't get respect. I don't want respect. I want trust, and that's a big thing. And I would say that I'm the enemy of the state. I've always been an underdog. I'm not an underdog the way people think of it. I go on storyline after storyline and finding and realizing no one heard anything. No one heard my words. And it's like, really? God doesn't speak to you? That's why do you think I smoke? I seek the other realms. I don't even have a relationship. It's like screwed. You know, they don't want this out. They don't want the people uh, or the right religion. Religion doesn't get talked about because it's like the enemy. I was a Mormon. I'd have to be admitted to it. But when I went to the Baptist, I was like, and I found a lot of other churches in this area that are scary. It's like, well, why can't you get a woman? Because they think the fact is they don't want it. I want a woman. I went to the bars to find them. Found out I couldn't even date it at all. But God said that man should be with a woman. And I find it's really hard in these days. And it's scary. You see someone with beauty and then you're like, transmission to God. But, I was a church member, but I find confusion of religion because it doesn't answer God's question. Does God knock on your door? Does he speak the word of his coming? But or is he here? No, he's a dimensional otherworldly. My thing is Earth was abandoned a long time ago by the gods, and Jesus and the Father have retreated, and Satan is still roaming the earth. So be scared about him, or you can fight him. I mean, or you could deal with it in a different way. I wouldn't just say I'm against religion or politics or government. I'm respected to a certain point. But um, yeah, I was censored from Facebook. I don't know why. None of my posts are too religious or too governmental. Once in a while, I say a little word that is hidden, but it's like they censored me. I'm like, really? Oh well. But you know what? I'm on YouTube right now, and maybe I don't have the right quality. I'm like, what are you supposed to do? I'm like, I don't know. But when people don't come around and don't care, I don't know what to do. I'm breaking. It's like torture, prison. Who knows? The world is so confusing right now. You can't even look at it because I don't watch TV because I don't have it on. I would have two TVs, but no. And there's a lot of scams out there coming on the internet and on the social media sites. Be careful what you do because they can trap you. I found when I did something last night on a Facebook video or Facebook buy, don't go for it. They get your money, they take your site down, and it's like really bad. So I got blocked on a comment and I heard from the post. They didn't like it. You know, I was like, wait a minute, you post. They blocked my post, and that's really what's coming out is, um, because they scam my money situation. 24 something bucks should not come out of a $1 bill, and it was a misleading stuff. So I'm like, oh God. But they don't. The bigger picture is why. But I figure I'll go to bed tonight. Maybe I should get more cards. I don't understand why I'm so tired at night, but they're trying to knock me out because they say I have schizophrenia. But it's like, does anyone know who I am? Why I'm here? Do you even see my face? and YouTube is like a lost history of people that spoke things like ASMR. All of it was stories. Some of them are older now, some of them are younger, some of them have developed stories, some of them passed on, some of them had COVID. This has been going around for a while. I tried keeping all my YouTubers safe until they caught me and broke me. And the law has used abusive in the law. The law is not just the law, it's the law of God. God is the law above the land. But do they want to admit to that? No. And they don't swear on God and the FBI or the cops. They get drunk, they smoke, they do things they shouldn't, you know. But it's really a rundown society, of things that are falling apart. You can't trust these legal systems properly if you're in a church because it screws you under. And then you got the cults. You got to be aware from cults. Still need some authority figures you can trust. It's not easy. It's not like the movies when you say, "Oh, I'll back it up and run them down." I'm like, no, it don't work like that. We're cornered like Nephi in the Book of Mormon, but I had to say it like that because Nephi died with the plates. Like I'm dying with my stuff. I went into Joseph Smith's place. I've been to the location of where he died. I went in the house, went to the top floor, finding out he got shot. And then they told me it was cursed. We weren't supposed to enter. That was my mistake back in the day. I went to Nauvoo, and I went into the top building, and they said we weren't supposed to enter, and we did. And all the people of our branch went in there, and we weren't supposed to because he got shot, so his ghost went through. And followed me. But no, actually, I noticed this was actually bad because I went there and I was like, something's wrong. That was at his timeline, but I go on a little timeline. So I saw Jesus. I mean, I didn't really see Jesus, but I sensed what Joseph Smith went through as I entered that room. And they said we weren't supposed to enter the bedroom, and we did. So Uh, and they told us that's where he got shot, and he threw out the window. I'm like, and he was a Christian, and it's this happens a lot. Um, but I've seen Jesus in other angles too, but that was a timeline when Jesus last saw mankind, and I don't know if he'll ever return again. So, what religions say he will come? Jesus and the Father, or Jesus, or any of his or otherworldly disciples or angels from other worlds that he'll send to us. I don't know who will help us. The devil has ruined the planet. Now we got aliens trying to strike the human race. Before the humans and the angels, or before the human and alien war, the angels were defending the humans from the devil and the aliens about broad in those planets and galaxies that visit us. Now we're dealing with a whole bigger picture. They have been extinguished from the truth that humans are in danger from everything out there. I wouldn't just say just aliens, angels, demons, ghosts. There's a whole list of things that have been thrown on the earth to cause havoc. And it's not safe to be in one location anymore. I know that. I should have retreated from this location a long time ago. So I don't know why Miley Cyrus is not playing. I thought it was going to record, but it didn't pop. So I mean, I will post this. Hopefully, someone hears me, gives me a like, sends subscribes. I don't have subscribers, so maybe it's because I haven't done anything right. And I love Miley Cyrus, but do they see my heart and what I have left and what I can love for? But I've done like 21 minutes of bull crap. But I swear I stay on a certain level. I still get advanced godly powers like a Super Saiyan. But that world died when I realized they didn't care about us. That's what Michael Jackson said. Cartoons have been saying that for years. There's a plot in the X-Men comics that shows a negative, destructive format, which is the ending stories of our lives. So we need to care for the world, stop the evil powers or the powerful leaders or mutants that don't want to listen. And we are falling apart from these wars. And I think Magneto was the only plot to the Acolytes. I do not know why they did not bring in the Acolytes, because then you got to bring in Omega Red. Then you have to bring in Juggernaut. No, Juggernaut's been used, but still, Juggernaut was like 10 feet tall in one comic. But yeah, it's kind of fancy in the comic world. I mean, I'm not. Oh, okay, I got. I relate to our worldly comics, so or other things. We are not in a decent age of human understanding. It's more of a prison planet. Everything's been defeated almost, and it's not fair anymore. It's not fair to the government, the aliens, the humans, the people, the citizens, the worldly people that live on this planet. So please speak English when talking, people. Speak to me in English. But I know that is a hard world to cover up. Um, Being forced in a prison for false information, being forced into other stuff. You think someone's gay when really they've been tortured for a long time with unlawful acts by the places they're in. And it's kind of like prison, German prison camp. And Wisconsin had German prison camps. So I do admit that this is actual factual knowledge that does exist. So don't ignore the reality of these things, because I teach on an alien level and knowledge of a higher ascension level. They talk about ascension, and I'm not sure yet. I swear on my God, but I also swear for the people, that this earth is important. Um, I stopped praying, and now I hear Jesus in the morning, and it's not Jesus, it's completely from Satan. And I understand that they I don't know. I don't want to go too deep on it because it's confusing without Jesus. It's confusing without the Father. It's confusing when you get into these horror movies. Never a good thing, people. But I'm like, wait a minute. Do people care for me, or do they care for the enemy? I get so contradicting. So whether you can be in an evolutional human chain, or if anyone will listen, is the question. So I kind of don't. Okay. I do think this is very odd that hackers can get in your network. I'll take this off. Maybe that's doing it. So, whether America is a good timeline, there's a lot of cover ups, a lot of tracking. I'm like, ugh, I think YouTube is cutting me out. So, whether America is good or not is up in the air. It's not just one country that's falling apart. We're all in this mess, and I don't like the fact that this happened. Thanos, snap of the finger. I'm like, really? And then lack of God's response to protect the humans, and Satan's still wrathful. So we're in a religious battle. Why they can hack us and attack our morality, I don't know if this is going to be heard on this part because they're trying to cover me up from what you need to hear about me and the world and all of us existing. It's a matter of temptation ignored. And I find that a lot of people don't believe in Jesus. They don't believe in the gospel. I once knew the gospel until I found torture. But now I see they're censoring in certain words are YouTube censor, Facebook censor. And they may not want to say this, and I really don't care what these agencies think of me. I am master over Facebook and YouTube, but they may not care because this is like a prison planet, in my opinion. Because it is. And I tried changing it, but they didn't want to listen. So, world did not listen to the world. Well, that's example of this what is going on. I have to cut it short because some apparent reason my channel is being affected by some kind of signal. So I do care for people, and it's not easy to talk on YouTube when you get hacked. Computer viruses and hackers, Y2K, and hopefully not Skynet because we need a human race. So I tried doing this on live. Previously, I'd record it. I previously recorded my past videos because I couldn't do live at the time. I'm gonna have to end it because this is problematic. This is falling apart. So, do you hear me? Do you hear me? Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna end the video because nothing's being heard, and I'm having trouble with the signal. So, yeah.